Hey, what's going on, everybody? Want to do a quick video. I'm in the process of getting ready for the first BAM event of the 2024 season. Been a long time since I fished a tournament. Took a little break, but I'm ready to get back at it this year. So real quick, I was thinking about what I could do, and I just kind of want to go over the setups that I have for this event and kind of what I think leading into it. So it's on Indian Creek, which is a reservoir right outside of Alexandria, a little bit south of Alexandria, kind of like central Louisiana. And man, it's not a typical Louisiana fishery. It's fairly deep, 20, 25 feet, and super clear water with a lot of grass. A lot. A lot of hydrilla, a lot of standing timber. January 20th is going to be the date of the event, and it's going to be the coldest water probably. The water will be the coldest that it gets for our part of the state, or really for Louisiana in general. It could be upper 30s, definitely going to be in the low 40s. So real quick, just going to go over what I've got in mind and what I'm thinking. First up is a Rapala Shadow Rap. Now this is not the deep. This is the standard Rapala, and the reason for that is I put a little bit heavier hook on it to really help that bait sink. So depending on where I figure out during the day that the fish are, I can pause that retrieve and just let it get down as deep as I want it to. So I'm not relying on the bill for the depth, if that makes sense. Next up, and this is something anytime it's winter in Louisiana you want to have tied on, is a jig. That's a Berkeley casting jig. Just has the Arky style head. Got a little grub trailer on, and that'll be if I find fish tight to the bottom and some little holes in the grass, which is kind of what I'm hoping will happen anyways. Another standard for cold water in our neck of the woods is a lipless crankbait. This is the old Strike King Red Eye Shad. Kind of gotten back around onto those, man. I used to throw a Red Eye Shad a lot years ago. It was KVD made it so popular. I think a lot of people are going back to a traditional style rattle trap. But anyway, something about the shimmy of that Red Eye Shad when it falls, it really has that flutter. Super good bait for cold water. And the last thing is just a little finesse worm. I actually don't have it on a shaky head. I like a light Texas rig. I'm going to be throwing it around a lot of timber and a lot of grass. So with that light Texas rig, I can get away with a little heavier line. This is actually 17-pound fluoro. So, you do lean into a big one around that thick stuff. You can kind of muscle it a little more than I would on, a spinning rod with lighter line. And look, this year's tournament approach is going to be even more simple than on normal. I've got one box of tackle that's going to be on the kayak with me, just to show y'all what I have in it really quick. More of the Rapala jerk baits. I do have one deep diver. Only hang up with this one is that I'm not a big fan of the color. Okay, I've got some stoppers attached to it. Anyway, deep diver, but not big on that color in clear water. It's a little too opaque for my liking. Few jackhammers just in case there's some stained water that's ran in. I'm planning to fish an area of the lake it's really the one active creek that flows into the lake. It brings in a lot of nutrients, some stained water after a heavy rain, which it's been a few days since we've had, but you never know. The water may have a little color in that that jackhammer bite may be on. This is one thing I kind of plan to use as a cleanup lure. If I do find a group of fish on the jerkbait and they kind of cool on it a bit, I can throw this shad fluke in, and it just has I use it with if you can see that, a flipping hook. Has a little bit of weight to kind of help it get down in the water column and really simulate a dying shad. So the retrieve on this, super simple, do nothing, just dead stick, cast it out to where I think the fish are set up, slack line, let it sink, maybe get a couple twitches as it gets close to the bottom. But that can be a killer cold clear water technique that I've found in my very limited experience fishing super clear, super cold water. All in all, man, I think this is going to be a cool tournament. It's definitely a change up for us. Like I said, I've not fished an event since August. So my last tournament, I think the high was like 102. This event, the high is like 42. So it's a bit drastic. Another thing I've got in the box, the Fritz side. This is a version that dives to 9 feet. Kind of a you know, an oddball thing. If you find some fish that are suspended, they don't want the jerk bait. Just kind of slow wind that through that depth zone where I think they're going to be holding that. And that's just about it, man. I'm really excited to get on the water. As far as the winning total, I know I pre-fished a couple of weeks ago. I had about 72, 73 inches. Found one group of fish that were no big ones at all. Just, you know, just keepers. So if I could do that again tomorrow, I'd be happy with it. Who knows though? It may take, you know, it may take in the 80s. Honestly though, I think limits are going to be a little difficult to come by. I think a couple of really big ones are going to be caught. There's probably going to be a 21, 22, 23. You know, some of the guys that, you know, are a little more proficient with electronics or have electronics, which I don't, that find some, you know, some suspended, just, you know, one or two fish out in the big, you know, open basin of the lake. And if they're able to drop something on those fish and get them to bite, that's a way, you know, that probably the most, likely way to catch a really big one tomorrow. I'm just going for numbers like I always do. I'm, you know, if I can get 5 and then get 1 or 2 better than average fish mixed in, I think it'll be a good finish. It'll be a good start to the year. So anyway, like I said, just wanted to give y'all some thoughts on, give you my thoughts on the event, and really excited to get to the season going. I looked at the leaderboard today and saw some names that I hadn't seen before. So hopefully you guys all have a good time, and hope to see some of y'all at the ramp. Take it easy, everybody.